Ladies and gentlemen, Raiders Nation, buckle up because if there's one thing we know about this silver and black beast, it's that the Las Vegas Raiders never go down without a fight. Remember that electrifying 1976 AFC divisional playoff when the Raiders pulled off the Holy Roller, Ken Stabler heaving a desperation pass that bounced off his lineman's hands like a pinball before Clarence Davis snagged it in the end zone for the win? Yeah, chaos is our middle name. And right now, in this wild 2025 season, it feels like we're staring down another Hail Mary moment. What if I told you the Raiders are on the verge of a blockbuster trade that could rewrite their quarterback destiny? Stick around, because we're diving deep into the swirling rumors of a deal with the Indianapolis Colts that could send shockwaves through the AFC West. Let's start with the cold hard reality check that's got silver and black hearts pounding a little faster these days. Heading into Week 9, your Las Vegas Raiders sit at a gritty 2-5, dead last in that brutal division where the Kansas City Chiefs are lapping the field like it's a victory lap. We brought in the grizzled veteran Gino Smith this offseason, you know, the guy who lit up Seattle with his cannon arm and cool under pressure vibes, and paired him with legendary head coach Pete Carroll, the mastermind behind those Seahawks dynasties. The plan? Instant turnaround at Allegiant Stadium, that gleaming fortress we call the Death Star, where the crowd roars like thunder and the turf shakes under the weight of Raider pride. But folks, it's been a rocky road. Smith's thrown for just 1,417 yards through 8 games, with 7 touchdowns overshadowed by a league-high-tying 10 picks. Yeah, he's knotted up with Miami's Tua Tagovailoa for most interceptions, and that's not the script we scripted when we inked him to that juicy 2-year, $75 million extension right after the trade. Through 2027, he's ours, but whispers in the locker room are turning to shouts. Is this the spark we needed, or are we fanning flames that could burn the whole rebuild to the ground? Now, let's break it down like we're dissecting game film in the war room. Because that's where the real magic happens for a franchise built on Al Davis's rebellious fire. Gino Smith. The man's got pedigree. Drafted in the 2nd round by the Jets back in 2013, he bounced around like a bad check before finding his groove in Seattle, where he posted a career year in 2022 with over 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. We traded for him hoping that same magic would translate to Vegas. Picture him slinging it to Davante Adams on those deep posts, Max Crosby terrorizing the pocket from the edge like a one-man wrecking crew. But this season, the interceptions are piling up faster than parking tickets on the Strip. Tactical misfires, too many forced throws into double coverage, offensive line that sprung more leaks than the Titanic, and a rhythm that's as off as a slot machine on the fritz. Pete Carroll's West Coast offense, with its emphasis on quick decisions and play-action bootlegs, was supposed to mask those issues, but we're seeing stalled drives and 3-and-outs that leave the Death Star faithful chanting for change. Compare that to last year's Aiden O'Connell experiment. The kid from Purdue had his moments, scrambling like a young Marcus Allen, but we all remember the growing pains. Smith's veteran savvy was the antidote, or so we thought. Statistically, it's grim. His completion percentage hovers at 62%, down from his Seattle peak, and the Raiders' red zone efficiency ranks 27th league-wide. Ouch. But here's where the plot thickens, Raiders fans. And trust me, this one's got more twists than a John Madden commentary on a trick play. Enter Brad Gagnon from Bleacher Report, the trade whisperer who's got his ear to the ground in league circles. He's floating a bombshell prediction: the Raiders pulling off a heist with the surging Indianapolis Colts for Anthony Richardson, the former 4th overall pick out of Florida who's been riding the pine while Daniel Jones, yes, that Daniel Jones, the Giants castoff who somehow turned Indy into a juggernaut, owns the starting gig. Picture this: Richardson, the 6'4" freak athlete with a rocket arm that once had scouts drooling over his Heisman potential, shipped to Vegas in exchange for our cornerback Eric Stokes and a mid-round draft pick. Stokes, the ex-Packers first-rounder who's flashed shutdown potential but battled injuries like they were personal vendettas. He's got the speed to blanket receivers, and with Indy's secondary hemorrhaging passing yards second only to Dallas's sieve-like defense, this could be the patch they need. For the Colts, it's a no-brainer. Jones has them atop the AFC South, slinging dimes and looking like the steal of the century. Why cling to Richardson's baggage when you can stockpile picks and corners? Let's zoom out for some historical context, because no Raider story is complete without a nod to the ghosts of glory past. This ain't the first time we've chased quarterback salvation through the trade wires. Flashback to 2004, when we shipped out Rich Gannon, the MVP maestro who led that 0-2 Super Bowl run, and cycled through Kerry Collins and Aaron Brooks in a desperate bid for stability. Or the 80s dynasty, when Marcus Allen and the Autobahn backfield-powered Jim Plunkett to 2 Lombardi trophies, proving that bold moves at the position can ignite a firestorm. Richardson's stats? Over 3 NFL seasons, 2,400 yards, 11 touchdowns, 13 picks, and a completion rate scraping 50%. It's raw, unpolished, like a diamond in the rough straight out of Gainesville. But change of scenery? That's Raider DNA. Think Charles Woodson, the Heisman hero who revitalized our secondary after Detroit let him walk. Or even Bo Jackson, the two-sport legend whose highlight reel runs embodied that commitment to excellence motto Al Davis etched into our soul. Richardson could sit, learn from Smith's veteran reps, absorbing those pre-snap reads and footwork drills, then battle for the throne next offseason. If he wins, we've got an out in Smith's contract after 26, turning a regret into a reload. To bring this to life, imagine I'm courtside, sideline, grabbing sound bites from the key players in this drama. Fictional? Sure, but as real as the turf burns on game day. I cornered Max Crosby after practice, sweat still dripping from that relentless motor that sacked QBs 15 times already this year. Look, Gino's a brother, a fighter, Crosby growls, his voice like gravel over a highlight reel. But if bringing in a young gun like Richardson lights a fire under us, man, I'm all in. Raiders Nation deserves a spark. We've been grinding since the Oakland days, and I'm not letting this ship sink. Cut to Pete Carroll, the silver-haired sage pacing the sidelines like he's plotting world domination. Trades. Predictions. That's the league's rumor mill churning, he chuckles, that trademark grin flashing. But we're builders here in Vegas. If Anthony shows up with that Gator grit, he'd fit right in, learn the system, earn the reps. Just like I told the Seahawks back in 12, patience pays off. And from the stands, a die-hard fan, bandana tied tight, silver face paint gleaming under the Death Star lights. Trade for Richardson? Hell yeah. We've got Adams waiting to feast, Crosby sacking souls. Give us a QB who can sling it without the picks. Just stick Raiders, baby, win or die trying. So, what does this mean for the Silver and Black's playoff pulse? Right now, at 2-5, we're outsiders looking in, but this division's a bloodbath. Chiefs unbeatable, Chargers nipping at heels, Broncos lurking like they did in those 90s turf wars. Snag Richardson, and suddenly we're not just surviving, we're scheming. Imagine him airing it out to Brock Bowers in the seam, or scrambling for chunk yards while Christian Wilkins clogs the run like a Vegas bouncer. Expert takes. Our fictional scout buddy, Silver Fox Ramirez, a vet who's called more drafts than I've called touchdowns, chimes in. Richardson's ceiling is Plunkett-level magic, but the floor? Total Stabler scramble chaos. Raiders could flip this to 7-10 by Christmas if Carroll molds him right. Impacts ripple wide. Draft capital preserved for edge rushers to pair with Crosby. Free agency flexibility to chase a receiver tandem that'd make Madden beam. And don't sleep on the fanbase boost. Raiders Nation, from the black hole to the tailgates on the Strip, lives for these high-stakes gambles. It's why we moved from Oakland's gritty Coliseum to LA's glitz, then Vegas's neon glow, to chase legends. As we wrap this whirlwind, because who needs sleep when the trade deadline's looming like a full moon over the desert? Let's fire up that rebel yell one more time. Raiders, this could be your pivot from pain to promise, from 2-5 Blues to a 26 contention roar. Tune in Sunday for Jaguars Raiders at the Death Star. Will Gino rebound with a pick-six special, or are we witnessing the calm before the Richardson storm? Grab your tickets, crank the Silver and Black Till I Die playlist, and join the nation in chanting for glory. Because in Vegas, we don't just play the odds, we own the house. This is your Raiders Report. Just win, baby. I'm your anchor name. Signing off, but the story? It's just heating up.